In just a few days, South Africans will head to the polls to elect new national and provincial governments. In the home straight to the 29th of May, Johannesburg Journal is looking into what the biggest parties nationally have to offer. Every day we dive into a manifesto. The order in which the different parties are presented was decided by a draw. I'm Julien Trévian, you're watching Manifesto Explained on Johannesburg Journal. Today we focus on uMkhonto weSizwe, one of the noisiest parties in the campaign. It was joined by former President Jacob Zuma, whom the Constitutional Court ruled could not compete in the election. It could become the third party in the next National Assembly. Founded late in 2023, the party considers that South Africa suffers from moral decay and lives a neo-apartheid which it wants to repair. I've gathered the MKP's 8 pillars into 5 areas of priority: African values, the economy, education and social security, safety and security, and sovereignty. The MKP wants to reaffirm African values and languages. It would collaborate with religious and cultural groups to implement a national education program focusing on African languages and morals. A year of military service for all 18-year-olds would instill patriotism and discipline to the youth. The uMkhonto weSizwe party wants to expropriate all land without compensation. The state would transfer ownership to the people under its control and redistribute farmland. Reserves of foreign currencies would increase to reduce the volatility of the exchange rate. Reliance on FDIs in the resources sectors would be eliminated, as the state would own and control mineral resources by nationalizing strategic mining firms and limiting the export of raw materials. Other sectors would be nationalized: the Reserve Bank, which would contribute to SA's development, all large banks and insurance companies, Sasol and ArcelorMittal. All SOE privatization agreements would be repealed, Eskom would not be unbundled, and the just energy transition, which the MKP labels unjust transition, would be reversed. The power utilities coal fleet would be renewed and nuclear power would accelerate. The cap on privately produced energy, which was scrapped to reduce load shedding, would be reintroduced. A state construction company would offer mixed income housing developments, or abandoned property would be used for public housing. The MKP wants the taxi industry to benefit from a state-owned fund and a national taxi and bus manufacturer. Train lines which were lost to the Zuma presidency would be revitalized and a high-speed rail network would be built. The MKP wants free education from kindergarten to postgrad. It says it would upgrade school infrastructure and increase university capacity. The NHI would be implemented, public healthcare infrastructure would be upgraded, and a state pharmaceutical company would be created. An annual health screening would become mandatory, and people would have the choice to access traditional African medicine in the public and private sectors if they wish to. The party says it would offer jobs to anyone who wants to work and introduce the 4,500 rand minimum wage. The basic income grant would increase, just like the child support grants. Pension and disability grants would reach the minimum wage. Investment in the recruitment, training and equipment of law enforcement agencies would increase. Community police relations would improve, as would crime intelligence, freed from corruption. The MKP would deploy the SANDF to protect the border. Military investments would increase to maintain existing equipment and acquire new one. A referendum to scrap the 1996 constitution is promised by the party. It wants to introduce a new system based on parliamentary sovereignty. A lower house of parliament would be elected by the people, and the upper house would consist in traditional leaders and monarchs. Finally, South Africa would stand in solidarity with Cuba, Russia and Palestine against the West. The country would withdraw from the International Criminal Court. The BRICS would establish new currencies and settlement mechanisms. Thank you for watching. You can support Johannesburg Journal by subscribing and by liking, commenting and sharing this video. Manifesto Explained will be back tomorrow with a focus on action SA. Until then, Salagahle.